Hello Rovers, my name is Sarah Bailey. I am the Rover Scout Leader for the Aspen Mountain Rover Crew of the Rovering for Life Association. And today we're going to go over the knots for the Tenderfoot qualifications. But there's a few things you need to know about the rope first before you start tying it. You have what's called the standing end. This is the part of the rope that stands, as it's implied. It doesn't do a lot of movement. You have the running end, which is used when you're making knots. So you see how this one is the only one that is moving. A few other things you need to know are the shapes of the rope. You have what's called a bite, which is when the rope is bent over. This is used for various knots. And you also have a loop, like that. So the first knot that a rover is required, and you'll hear my 1-year-old in the background. The first knot we're going to do is the square knot, also known as the reef knot. Our orange is going to be our standing end. Our green is going to be our running end. So, you start, you put the green over the orange, and you go over there, under there. That's actually an overhand knot. Now, you got your orange over here, and which is your standing end still. That green, now you put the green over that and curl it under. And you pull it tight. And you can kind of see the shape there. You have two bites, basically, that are looped through each other. They're woven through each other. The next is a sheep bend. And again, you'll hear my 1-year-old playing in the background. And the sheep bend is used to tie two different size ropes together, although you can use it for two of the same size ropes as well. So I'll demonstrate what happens when you try to do a square knot with two different size ropes, just to demonstrate how important this knot is. See, you can tell it's a little unwieldy trying to do a square knot. You can see they're not tightening like they should. See how it's already coming apart? And I mean, it's about to slip out there. So, with a sheep bend, what you do is you take your standing end, which will be this big rope, and you make a bite out of it. You take your running end, your other rope, and you go behind through that bite, over, and behind. You want to do behind both sections of that standing end. That's important. Pull it down. Now, you take that running end and you put it under itself over here. You make sure that goes back over that bite, like that, and then you pull. Now you can see how much more effective that is at holding those two different size ropes together. The next knot is actually a hitch. It's a very basic hitch called the Clove hitch, and I'll try to demonstrate while holding a stick, as it's best demonstrated around a stick. So you take your rope and you go behind. Hopefully I do this right the first time. You got this. Now you want to put that down. And you want to pull enough of this rope you can go back around. And you got an X right here. And you want to hold on to this end right here. That's part of the running end. Because you get a space right here. You bring that back around. And you pull that in. And that is a clove hitch. Now, a clove hitch, it's used for starting a lot of lashings and stuff, because it holds that rope in place, but it's still easy to come undone if you need to. Our next knot is the bowline. The bowline is a very important one scouting and just in general, in that you can make a loop that can be used to help people get out of dangerous situations. So like a rescue, you create a loop that they can loop over themselves. You can pull them to safety. So for the bowline, you want to kind of determine how big you want your loop, but for the sake of this video, we'll do it about that big. And you kind of see, it'll probably be about this big. So what we'll do is we'll make a loop like this. You have a loop, and that's across your front. That's important. If you do it the other way, you're gonna have some troubles. So you want to make sure you push it over and make that loop right there. Now, you take your running end and you push it, you put it through that loop, you go behind, push it through, take it, you go under that standing end, it's sitting over here, and then you push it back through. You don't have to worry about like crossing it over or anything, it's not necessary. But just back through that loop. You kind of see the general shape right there before I pull it tight. So now I'm going to pull it tight. And you got yourself a bowline. That thing will not come apart. So that is the bowline. Next knot is a round turn and 2 half hitches. Now this is used for setting up a line, like a ridge line for a tent, or whatever else you need that rope for to hold rigid and straight. So what you do is you take the running end of your rope, you pull it behind your spar or whatever, or tree, branch, whatever you're tying it to, and go around. Now, I like to do 2 rounds. So you can either stop here, start doing the half hitches, or you could go around again. Doing 2 rounds makes it a little more secure. So I'm going to go around one more time. So now it looks like this. Now it's important to remember the direction that you knot your line over for the half hitches. So you take this, for in this case, I'm going to go over the standing end down here. So I'm going to go like this and pull it through. You see it creates a loop. You then loop on there. And then we have that. And then I'm going to need to go over again. I need to do the same direction. Loop through one more time. And you can do this as many times as you want, really, to create, it creates a sort of slip knot where you can push those half hitches and it tightens the line like that. And you can pull it loose if you need to and untie it. So that is 2 rounds half hitch. You could also do a single round and 2 half hitches for your line. The last knot we're going to go over for the tenderfoot qualifications is the sheepshank. This is used for shortening a line. If you need the rope to be shorter, like say for a line you're using for a tent, or for whatever reason you need to shorten the line without cutting it, it preserves the length of the rope. Now, one of the important things on this is that you need to keep the tension on the rope as well, and you'll see what I mean as we go. So what you want to do is you want to take your rope and you want to make a bite up here. And this is about how much you're going to shorten your line right here. So you can determine the length of how much you're going to shorten it by just doing this one bite. Now you want to take the other end and pull that and make, so you have 2 bites. I'm actually going to lengthen this because I'm going to need more rope up here for the knot. So now you have these. And so now you want to take this bite, and now what you're going to do is create 2 you're going to create a half hitch on each bite, and hopefully I do this in the right direction. So you want to take, so here's your bite up here. You want to take this rope down here, put under, and push it through that space there to create a half hitch. What that does, you can see, is it creates tension right here if you pull on this bottom part and on this running end over here. Now, you want to cover this one. Now we have a bite down here. Now we want to take this top running end, go under, go through that space, and over. Now, you got your rope, say you're using it for a tent line, it's pulling, and it keeps those bites together. Now, when you lose tension on this rope, it starts to come apart, and you can actually kind of just shake it out. It comes right apart. Now, it is possible to do this while the line is already tied to something. So, that way you don't have to, like, let's say you set up a line and it's already knotted and tied to its two ends. You're like, holy cow, I need to shorten this. So, but instead of untying both ends, you can untie just one end, create a loop, and you can create another sheepshank hitch going on here. Sheepshank knot. Just kind of like you did before. And now it's a little tricky to understand, you know, where it could go. So you have your loop right here. And this is the end over here that's tied to something. You have your loop right here. Make sure that's crossed in front. And you take it and you make that S shape. S for sheepshank. So you put this behind, I guess, and then like that. And then, you know, you just do another half hitch, you know, with the other end. And that's how you can shorten it while it's still tied.